4-0 lead, a starting pitcher with 10 strikeouts, and then everything collapsed in a single inning. But what happened after the final out was something nobody in that stadium or anywhere in baseball saw coming. The Los Angeles Dodgers entered this 3-game home series against the Chicago Cubs knowing exactly what was in front of them. The Cubs were not just playing well, they had won 9 consecutive games, making them one of the hottest teams in baseball at that moment. This was a genuine marquee clash between two ambitious, playoff-caliber rosters, and from the very first pitch the game carried that weight. The Dodgers struck first in the third inning. Hye-seong Kim opened things with a hit, and Alex Freeland followed with a patient walk. Suddenly the Dodgers had runners on base with no outs, a textbook situation to do real damage. But both Ohtani and Freeman failed to deliver, leaving the Dodgers with 2 outs and the pressure entirely on Will Smith. Smith didn't flinch. He launched a 3-run home run, giving the Dodgers the early lead they needed. If you're new here, this is Baseball Daily. We're closing in on our first 500 subscribers, and every single one of you is part of building something real. Subscribe, hit like, drop a comment, and share this video. It genuinely helps us grow and keeps this kind of content coming every day. The 4th inning extended the advantage. Max Muncy led off with a double, and after 2 outs, Hye-seong Kim came through again with an RBI single to center field. The Dodgers were now in front 4-0, and the ballpark felt firmly in their control. On the mound, Emi Sheen was outstanding. Over 6.1 innings on 101 pitches, he recorded 10 strikeouts while allowing only 4 hits and 1 earned run. His signature moment came in the 6th inning when the Cubs had runners on first and third with only 1 out, a moment that could have unraveled everything. Instead, Sheen struck out Alex Bregman and Ian Happ back-to-back, ending the threat completely. It was a performance that under normal circumstances earns a win, but the bullpen had other plans. When Sheen exited, Alex Vesia entered and immediately struggled with command. Walks loaded the bases, and the Cubs suddenly had life. Then Dansby Swanson stepped up and crushed a 2-run triple, slicing the deficit significantly. Right behind him, Nico Hoerner delivered an RBI single, and within minutes the Dodgers' 4-0 lead had been cut to 4-3. A cushion that felt comfortable had completely disappeared inside a single inning, and the momentum had fully shifted to Chicago. The 8th inning brought a gut punch. The Dodgers brought in Blake Treinen to stabilize the game. On the very first pitch he threw, Alex Bregman sent it over the wall for a solo home run. The game was tied 4-4 and Dodger Stadium had gone quiet. What followed was one of the best defensive plays of the night. Moises Ballesteros hit the ball into the gap between left and center field. Ian Happ, running from first base, immediately pushed for home. But the relay was executed perfectly. Andy Pages fielded the ball, fired it to the infield, where it went through Hye-seong Kim and arrived at catcher Will Smith in time for a clean tagout at home plate. The Dodgers held the tie going into the 9th. Tanner Scott was handed the ball to keep the game level. He couldn't do it. After allowing a runner to reach base, he faced Dansby Swanson, who had already done serious damage earlier in the game. Swanson connected again, this time driving a 2-run home run that put the Cubs ahead 6-4. In the bottom of the 9th, the Dodgers sent 3 batters to the plate and retired all 3 in order. The comeback loss was complete and painful, but the game itself was not the biggest story of the night. Immediately after the final out, while players from both sides were beginning to decompress, Crow-Armstrong approached Shohei Ohtani and publicly insulted him. This was not a reaction during live play, not a moment of in-game heat. This was a calculated approach after the game had already ended. Armstrong then escalated from verbal insults to a physical attack on Ohtani, triggering a full brawl on the field. Players from both dugouts rushed in almost simultaneously. Protecting a teammate from a physical threat is an unwritten rule in professional baseball, and it was observed instantly by everyone in that uniform. Manager Dave Roberts was one of the first people out, positioning himself directly to shield Ohtani while demanding that the umpiring crew act immediately. At the same time, Roberts worked to prevent his own players from retaliating in ways that could result in additional ejections or suspensions. The umpires ejected Armstrong on the spot. With the game over and a physical confrontation still ongoing, they had no other option. The baseball community widely agreed the ejection was necessary, though many felt the broader disciplinary question, what MLB does next, carries far more weight. Ohtani addressed reporters shortly after. He said, "In baseball, I respect my opponents and I want to play fairly, but today that was no longer true. I will not let anyone insult me or my teammates." He was clear and direct, not just defending himself personally, but stating that protecting his team's dignity is non-negotiable. He also confirmed he filed a formal complaint with MLB. Ohtani's day at the plate had been difficult long before the post-game incident. In his first at-bat, he struck out on a swing and miss, his timing visibly off against the Cubs' pitching. His second at-bat came at a critical moment. 2 runners on base, no outs, and he struck out again, failing to capitalize in a situation that could have extended the Dodgers' lead further. His third plate appearance produced a walk after a full count, the result of patience rather than contact, and his fourth at-bat ended when the Cubs used their ABS challenge to overturn an umpire's call, resulting in a called third strike. By the end of the game, Ohtani's batting average had dropped to .237 and his OPS fell to .794. Those numbers reflect a period of real adjustment. Opposing pitchers have clearly shifted their approach to limit his impact. and he has not yet found a consistent counter solution. The final picture of this game tells multiple stories simultaneously. Sheen delivered the kind of start that wins games and received nothing in return from his bullpen. Vija, Trainin, and Scott each contributed to a collapse that turned a comfortable victory into a 6-4 loss. The Cubs extended their winning streak to 10 games, reaffirming that they are a legitimate force in the National League. And the Armstrong-Ohtani incident forced a conversation the entire baseball community now has to have about sportsmanship, about player safety, and about what kind of standards MLB enforces when the final out has already been recorded. Ohtani's slump is a short-term concern. Elite hitters make adjustments. The timeline is the only question. The bullpen situation in Los Angeles is a structural problem that will not fix itself without deliberate action. And whatever punishment MLB decides to impose on Armstrong will set a precedent for how the league handles post-game confrontations going forward. If you enjoy real baseball content and breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next. We're building Baseball Daily one honest breakdown at a time, and we are right on the edge of hitting 500 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the moment. Like this video, share it with every baseball fan you know, and drop a comment below. Who do you think deserves more blame for this loss, the bullpen or the offense? And since we covered both Ohtani's struggles and the Armstrong brawl today, which story do you think MLB needs to address more urgently? Tell us in the comments and share this video so the debate spreads. We read every single one.